everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Gogh Goes Digital, where we embark on a captivating journey through the vibrant world of Vincent van Gogh's paintings and his life and the stories. And let's get into it. So, in today's episode, we dive into this profound beauty and the significance of irises and why this series of iris paintings are so important and hold such a significance in his career and his life. And that is a painting that was created in May of 1889. So join me as we explore and dive deep into the meaning behind the irises and why he started creating it. So let's again transport ourselves into this, idyllic countryside of Saint Remy and the south of France. It was here, within the confines of the Saint Paul asylum that Van Gogh painted irises. And he was actually he self-admitted himself in Saint Province asylum. As you remember from the previous episodes where we discussed that he cut off his ear because he had a little argument with Paul Gauguin, and he took it really personally and he chopped off his ear, and that's when he realized that what he's doing is wrong and he needs to seek help, which he did. So he moved to the Saint Province and in the Saint Paul asylum, where he decided to look after his health. And it was during this time, and ideally asylums or mental health institutes would not allow at that time for them patients to paint in the same room as where they're getting better help. And lucky for him, they did provide him a room where he could paint for himself and actually explore his creativity. And it was through that where he saw these beautiful irises, and it was during that time where irises were actually blooming in that asylum garden, and he thought that he should capture the delicate beauty onto his canvas. And honestly, to understand the significance of irises, we need to explore the circumstances in which it was created. As discussed, in 1889, Van Gogh self-voluntarily admitted himself, and he was seeking his refuge and hoping to find some kind of a stability for his mental well-being. And it was also during this time he found his solace and inspiration in the asylum gardens through these vibrant irises. And it was also during this asylum that he created a lot of masterpieces, Starry Night being one of them. And is just beautiful because irises are actually a very beautiful testament, and they're so soothing and calming to look also, because as you see, the one that I have selected is part of the 4 series that he had done. There are a total of 4 irises. 2 are in the vase, and the other 2 are up close through the ground, where you can see the point of view is also very different. It's like you can just touch the irises and see them and hold them in your hands, and it's just very, very pretty. And it was also during this time that Van Gogh was inspired by the Japanese prints, as we know, and he was actually influenced by the stylistic technique of the ukiyo-e or woodblock prints, and he was also a collector of it. And it was a Japanese style of art during 1600s and 1800s, which started to get expanded to the Western countries in America and Europe. And this style of art is also seen in Vincent's painting like Bridge in the Rain, Flowering Plum Orchids, and a lot of other artists were also heavily inspired by the Japanese culture, but it was Van Gogh who was really deeply inspired by it. And another painting that is heavily inspired by the Japanese culture by Van Gogh was the Blossoming Almonds, which is almond blossoms, and in which the artist, being Vincent himself, portrayed the part of the almond tree branches. Like in the irises painting, Van Gogh also cropped the parts of the tree and branches and just focused on the main blossoms. So, for the analysis and the description that we discussed about the irises is heavily based on the kind of colors, the textures, and the brushstrokes that Van Gogh has used in this painting. And as we know, Van Gogh just always went with thick brush strokes, and wanted to keep the visual and the feeling of 3D right into the painting. What I love about why I chose this particular one out of the four is because it is so saturated with green, but that little bud of iris flower which is blooming, it's so beautiful, and it's right above the rules of third, but it's still so captivating, and your focus goes through it. I really, really loved it, and I wanted to depict it in my own way, which I really enjoyed. I did not go with the entire blooming of the iris. I just wanted to enjoy and go through the process of it. And I'll be very, very honest, the colors are extremely beautiful. Vincent van Gogh's color schemes in these paintings are mostly of cooler greens, like I said, for the foliage, and blue and violet for the flowers. And it's also said that, Van Gogh initially utilized the purple or the violet color, which which has obviously faded over the years and appeared blue. And it was there are these areas of warmth, which is the yellows, and a bit hints of oranges for the flowers in the background as well. And there were earthier colors like reds, which appear as a shade of browns in the bottom. So, although there appears to be a contrast of cool and warm colors as well as complementary colors as seen in the blues and the oranges as well. And there is nonetheless a color harmony also, because the composition is extremely appealing and there are no clashing of the colors. It's very soothing to the eye, and the line art is also very beautifully done. It's not specifically harsh line art, it's very thin, and it just highlights the foliage and the leaves beautifully. As you must have understood by now, Van Gogh does not really show line work in his art. He keeps it very fluid. And the texture, obviously, you can see the brush strokes and everything, which gives the impasto feel to the painting as well. And space as an element also provides a lot of negative space that you can see in the bottom. There's a lot of negative space, but it does not really feel like a negative space because it just feels like a part of the painting. And the way the perspective and the composition is done, it feels like you can just get into the painting and pluck up the flower, and that's the beauty of it. It makes me think that he was just sitting right there and painting, because Van Gogh never believed in creating work from imagination. He derived inspiration right from what is right in front of him. He never really liked to spend time thinking or imagining or visualizing things in those sense. He liked picking subjects from right in front of him and creating art right directly. And I think that is what I really, really admire about him. And the way he visualizes and sees things is completely different from what we see, and it's beautiful. So I'm going to end today's conversation on the topic of irises. And I just want to say that irises do hold a very significant place within Van Gogh's body of work. It represents a period of artistic maturity and emotional depth for an artist, because he understood that he needed help and he sought out for it. And today it stands as a testament to Van Gogh's ability to transform nature into this vibrant expression of his innermost emotions, captivating art enthusiasts and collectors all around the world. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining me and supporting me throughout all the episodes. It really means a lot to me. And I look forward to hearing your thoughts and your ideas for the same. Bye, guys. Take care.